Hey there folks, it's Blue here at Bluebears Games, and over the next 4 weeks I will be unboxing and then upgrading all 4 of the Lost Caverns of Ixalan Commander precons. This week I have randomly selected the Ahoy Mateys precon to do this with, and then for the next 3 weeks after this one I will do the same for the remaining ones. Before I get to today's video, I want to first take a moment to let you know that if you'd like to help support my channel, you can do so in the following ways. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, share any of my content on your socials so other people can discover it, and or watch some of my many other videos yourself. In addition to that, if you're interested in ways that you can help support my channel monetarily, please read the description of this video, and there you will find a myriad of options for what you can do to help me keep this channel going. Anything that you can do to help is greatly appreciated, and I thank you for it. Now with that out of the way, let's begin. Today's video will be the unboxing of the precon, where I will show you everything that comes in the box, including the deck, card by card, and then tomorrow I will release the upgrade guide where I will go over some options that I believe you should take out and then add back in to help make the deck play a little better. When I show you the box itself, you will notice some changes to the size and how everything is presented. Most notably is that the main suggested commander card is no longer shown on the front, but instead is now on the back in a much smaller size. So small, in fact, that I couldn't even read anything that it said. So I had to look it up online to see who it was and what it did. What I found was the name of the commander for this deck is Admiral Brass Unsinkable, and here is everything about it. Admiral Brass is 1 red, 1 black, 1 blue, and 2 generic mana to cast for a 3/3 legendary human pirate with the following 2 abilities. The first ability says that when it enters play, mill 4 cards. Just in case anybody didn't know, in Magic, to mill a card means to put the top card of your library into your graveyard. In this case, milling 4 means putting the top 4 cards of your library into your graveyard. The second ability says, at the beginning of combat on your turn, you may return target pirate creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield with a finality counter on it. It has base power and toughness 4/4, and it gains haste until end of turn. In parentheses, it explains that if a creature with a finality counter would die, you exile it instead. So the obvious thing here is that this is a pirate deck with a sub-theme of a bad version of graveyard recursion of said pirates. As someone who makes and sells a pirate-themed deck myself on the Bluebears Games Facebook page, I know for a fact that pirates do other things, and I'm wondering if they included any of those other things in this precon. Rather than speculate about what could be inside this, why don't we just rip this bad boy open and I'll show you what's in the box. So here is what the outside of the box looks like. This is where some changes have happened. No longer is the cutout in the front, and it actually has the name on the front plus a little description of what it does. So this one says, put pirates in the graveyard, bring them back bigger. On the back is where they put the card that is supposed to be the suggested commander, only I'm old and my eyes don't work so well, so I can't really see what that card is. So we'll just open it up and I'll show you that. I've already gone over it in the beginning, but actually seeing it live is different. So let's just open it up and I'll show you everything inside. So it's a different configuration than the last 4, the Doctor Who stuff. This is back to the ones that we did previously where it's the smaller box. So things are inserted in the back a little differently. So I got to make sure that I got everything out. All right, so here is where the counters are now, or the little tokens, whatever you want to call them. They're a little thinner than they used to be. They're actually a lot thinner. And there's only 6 of them instead of, I think it was 10. So it is what it is. Of course, we still get the insert. This one says it's the Ahoy Mateys deck. Has playing the deck and commander rules on one side. And then a little bit about who the commander is, which it looks like it says Admiral Brass Unsinkable. So I guess that's who it was. I couldn't see it on the back because, again, I'm a little older and my eyes don't work. But what else do we got here? Oh, we have a little pouch. This little pouch has all the extras in it. That includes the life wheel. Oh, I am missing something, I think. I was under the impression that I would be getting a collector's booster sample pack, and guess what? I did not get one, so I guess I've got to send a message out to Wizards of the Coast. Alright, the boxes are the ones that are aligned left to right, and they are the good ones. And then the life wheel is a generic life wheel. So since I don't have a Collector's Booster sample pack, which I'm going to read real quick, and includes a Collector's Booster sample pack. I did not get one, which kind of sucks. I'll check just to make sure, but I do not see one. So we'll just move on, and I will just send a letter over to Wizards. So we'll just open the deck up and show you everything inside that. And look, a ripcord! Yay! Which means I don't have to just fast forward the whole video just to show you all the cards. Or to open the pack to show you the cards. Alright. Zoom. Since I didn't have to zoom because there was no sample pack. But here it is. Admiral Brass, Unsinkable, which I did read off to you because I had to look it up. So we'll get past that. The secondary commander that they suggest is called Don Andres, the Renegade. It is all three colors, which is red, black, and blue, and one generic for a 4/3 vampire pirate. It says that each creature you control but don't own gets +2/+2, has menace and death touch, and is a pirate in addition to its other types. Then it says whenever you cast a non-creature spell that you don't own, create 2 tapped treasure tokens. Alright, so let's see what the rest of the deck has. Azor Fleet Admiral, that I believe is a reprint. It's a 4-cast 3/3 pirate that says when it enters the battlefield, you become the monarch, and then it can't be blocked by creatures that the monarch controls. Enterprising Scallywag, 2-cast 2/2, a goblin pirate that says at the beginning of your end step, if you descended this turn, you create a treasure token. Descend means that if you had a permanent card put into your graveyard from anywhere. Daring Saboteur, that is a reprint. I'm not going to read off the reprints that I, recognize. Departed Deckhand, Distant Melody, Ghost Ramirez DiPietro, Malcolm Keen-Eyed Navigator. I'm sure Breaches will be in here as well. Merchant Raiders, Siren Storm Tamer, Spectral Sailor. This looks very similar to the Malcolm and Breaches budget commander deck that I make. Windfall, Feed the Swarm, so removal. Pitiless Plunderer. Breaches, I knew Breaches was coming. Faithless Looting for some card draw. Rakdos Charm. Ramirez DiPietro Pillager. I think this is new. 4-cast for a 4/3 human pirate. It says when it enters the battlefield, you lose 2 life and create 2 treasure tokens. And then whenever one or more pirates you control deal combat damage to a player, exile the top card of that player's library, and you may cast that card for as long as it remains exiled. Arcane Signet, Commander Sphere, Demir Signet, Herald Torn, which is really good for kin or tribal decks. Izzet Signet, Rakdos Signet, Soul Ring, Wayfarer's Bauble, so there's a lot of mana fixing and rocks in here. Command Tower, Crumbling Necropolis, Evolving Wilds, The Indomitable. Don't know this one. It's a 4-cast vehicle that when it's a creature, it's a 6/6 that has trample, and whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, you draw a card. It crews for 3, and it says you may cast the Indomitable from your graveyard as long as you control 3 or more tapped pirates and or vehicles. Stormfleet Negotiator. I don't recognize this one either. So it's a 3-cast 2/2 Siren Pirate with flying and an ability called Parlay that says whenever Stormfleet Negotiator attacks, each player reveals the top card of their library, and for each non-land card revealed this way, you create a map token, and then each player draws a card. Francisco Fowl Marauder is a 2-cast 0/1 bird pirate with flying that can't block, and whenever one or more pirates you control deal damage to a player, Francisco explores, and it has partner. The important part here is that when it deals damage, not combat damage, obviously because it has no power. The Grim Captain's Locker. This is a 4-cast legendary artifact that you can tap to surveil 1, or you can tap it and until end of turn, each creature card in your graveyard gains escape, blacken 3, and exile 4 other cards from your graveyard. Skeleton Crew. Actually, I think this is specific to this. The only reason why I was going to pass it is because I actually ordered a bunch of these. I love this card. So I put it in my Tormod decks. It's 4-cast for a 3/3 that gives each other skeleton and pirate +1/+1 that you control. And whenever one or more creature cards leave your graveyard, you create a 2/2 black skeleton creature token, and it itself for 6 can return from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. Really like that in my Tormod decks. Roadside Bombardiers, so it's a 3 to cast 2/2 with Menace and Haste, and it has Boast, and you have to sacrifice another creature or artifact, and Roadside Bombardiers deals damage equal to 2 plus sacrifice permanent's mana value to any target. Gene Cutter Buccaneer, it's a 4 to cast 1/1, says whenever it or another pirate enters the battlefield under your control, you create a tapped treasure token. And then treasures you control are equipments in addition to their other types that have equipped creature gets +2/+0 and equips a pirate for 1 or equips any creature for 3. Arm Mounted Anchor is a 3 to cast artifact equipment. Gives the equipped creature +2/+2 and menace. It has a static ability of when the equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, draw 2 cards, then discard 2 cards unless you discard a pirate card, and it equips for 2. Amphib Mutineer is a reprint, I believe. Biden of Thassa, that is definitely a reprint. Corsair Captain. This is a quote-unquote Lord for other pirates, because it gives them +1/+1. Evacuation. Time Stream Navigator. This one helps you get extra turns with a lot of caveats to it. Warkite Marauder. Black Market Connections. Nice to see that got a reprint finally. Blood Money. 7 to cast. Sorcery. This is destroy all creatures. And for each non-token creature destroyed this way, you create a tapped treasure token. Dire Fleet Ravager. This looks like a fun deck. Fathom Fleet Captain. Lethal Scheme. I don't recognize this. It may be a reprint. It's 4 to cast for an instant with Convoke, and it destroys a creature or planeswalker, and each creature that convoked Lethal Scheme connives. Angrass Marauders. Blasphemous Act. Captain Lannery Storm. Captivating Crew. Chaos Warp is probably in every deck that has red that's been a precon from WotC. Coercive Recruiter. 5 to cast for a 4/3 Orc Pirate, and whenever it or another pirate enters the battlefield under your control, gain control of target creature until end of turn, it gains haste and becomes a pirate in addition to its other types. Dire Fleet Daredevil. Karizev Skyship Raider. Port Razor, so all the basically the rare pirates. Shared on Animosity. This needed a reprint. It's an actual reprint, but I'm going to read it because it's pretty good. 3 to cast for an enchantment that says whenever a creature you control attacks, it gets +1/+0 until end of turn for each other attacking creature that shares a creature type with it. So in a kin style or tribal, as the old term was, deck, this is actually pretty good if you're in red. Back half of the deck starts with Admiral Brass. This is what most people at one point in time were using as the commander for a pirate deck. It is a Lord. Hostage Taker. King Narfi's Betrayal. This is a saga that's 3 to cast with 3 chapters. The first chapter says each player mills 4 cards. Then you may exile a creature or planeswalker card from each graveyard. And then the second and third chapter read, until end of turn, you may cast spells from among cards exiled with King Narfi's Betrayal. And you may spend mana as though it were mana of any type to cast those spells. Prismari Command. Zara Renegade Recruiter. I don't recognize this one. It is a 5 to cast 4/3 human pirate that has flying, and then whenever it attacks, you may look at target player's hand, and then you may put a creature card from it onto the battlefield under your control, tapped and attacking that player or a planeswalker that they control, and then return that creature to its owner's hand at the beginning of the next end step. Interesting. Icon of Ancestry, pretty much a staple for any kin or tribal style deck. Same thing with Vanquisher's Banner. Looks like we're into some budget dual lands, so Choked Estuary, Desolate Lighthouse, Exotic Orchard, Foreboding Ruins, Frostboil Snarl, Gyre Reach Sanitarium, Nephalia Drownyard, Smoldering Marsh, Sulphur Falls, that's actually a pretty good one, Sunken Hollow, Path of Ancestry, Port of Carfel, Rogue's Passage, which I was going to complain if it wasn't in there. Secluded Courtyard, Terramorphic Expanse, Thriving Bluff, Thriving Isle, and then, of course, Thriving Moor, Unclaimed Territory, and then Islands, Swamps, Mountains, and then we've got the thick version of Admiral Brass Unsinkable. As you can see, it's a little bit thicker. I don't know if you can or not, but it is. It doesn't bend very well. And then the tokens. We got Ragavan, Salamander Warriors, Map tokens, Copy tokens, Monarch, and City's Blessing. And on the back of it, we've got Pirate tokens, Skeleton Pirate tokens, Shapeshifter tokens, and Treasures. And that there, my friends, is what is in the Lost Caverns of Ixalan Ahoy Mateys Commander precon. This absolutely is a pirate-themed deck with a graveyard recursion sub-theme. There was also a small sub-theme of stealing other people's stuff, which is kind of what I was alluding to earlier in the video's intro. I personally did not like the recursion theme of this deck at all, and already know that for the upgrade guide, I will be removing it. I also kinda know what changes that I want to make to the deck that will absolutely make this deck much more fun, and in my opinion make it better, so if you want to see what I have in store, you're gonna have to come back tomorrow for that. So what that means is sadly that's all for this video, but if you're looking for more content to watch, please go browse my channel and take a look at some of my many other videos. I know for a fact that you'll find some that you like, and please check back tomorrow for the upgrade guide. Before you go though, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so yet. Have a great day, and I will see you all tomorrow.